Yes, Miss Scribbler, you're right. Wani, the Playboy manipulators of China. And I enjoy watching Wani. I enjoy seeing what China's up to, only for me to realize that America's doing the exact same thing. It's like, yeah, we're superior. Wait, I'm just looking at a mirror. I'm just looking at a mirror.
Oh, you're talking to me? You think I'm cute? Oh, thank you. I just hope you're not an undercover spy or anything who planned all of that out to infiltrate my family by having kids with me, then instantly divorce me to steal all my money through child support. No way, right? But you know who does? One girl in China whose dream ever since she was a kid was to infiltrate a billionaire family by modifying her face to look identical to a celebrity, then forcefully having kids with them to one day use as a trump card to steal all their money and ruin their life. Listen, unemployed kings and queens, I know y'all have been waiting for the tea, the gossip, the juice.
I wish I was unemployed, okay? I wish I was unemployed. No. It's too good. It's too beneficial actually having a day-to-day job. But a day-to-day job. But I got to say, Wani's content is absolutely enjoyable, absolutely pristine. He definitely deserves subscribing to, because it's just fun to see what's going on around the world, only to realize like it's going on in your own neighborhood.
To be extracted from China's parasocial influencer circle. So let's start from the beginning. The girl who was born to destroy the balance of China's billionaire rich kids. Meet Wei Xue, we'll call her Wei Wei. She was born in 1988 in a poor mountain village in Guangxi. Her parents were farmers, so the family barely had any money, and very early on as a kid, she realized something very important. Beauty is power. So while all the regular kids were playing at the parks and gossiping over crushes, Wei Wei was thinking, how do I get rich fast? So she was definitely no ordinary child. After junior...
That's one way to do it. Marry a billionaire. Marry a billionaire, and guess what? You'll be rich. You'll absolutely be rich.
High, she dropped out of school to help support her family as a shampoo girl, only earning like $70 a month. And that's the point where Wei Wei looked at her life and said, yeah, this is not the life I want. While most people reach success by either studying, getting a good job, or starting their own business, Wei Wei dreamed of marrying the rich.
You know what's weird? It's like every culture has its own like beauty standard, and it's so weird because you see the pictures of her, and it's like she's fine. She's fine. Why go under a knife and change and everything? But who knows? Who knows? I don't know the entire beauty standard, because I remember being in college and there were a few Chinese roommates who were laughing at the fact a few of the people that the Westerners thought were attractive, that they thought were like, oh, there's some ugly women. They're incredibly ugly. But the ones that the Americans thought were ugly, the Chinese men were like, yeah, she's wife material. She's wife material. It was so strange. It was so strange. But yeah, cultural differences, beauty differences, because beauty standard changes from nation to nation, culture to culture, region to region. Yeah, it just always changes. Decade to decade, year to year, week to week. Now that TikTok's a thing, minute to minute.
Eventually, being a shampoo girl just didn't cut it, so she started working at underground nightclub bars, specifically as a hostess, and specifically in areas where sons of millionaires or nepo babies would hang out. Now, all of these luxury clubs in Beijing and Shanghai are basically free-for-alls to see who has the most clout. All of the rich guys are flexing their watches worth entire apartments, the influencers are trying to get attention, and everybody's just trying to act mysterious. But Wei Wei, she was studying exactly how the rich moved, act, and played. And the hunt began. She learned how to read personalities instantly. Who had money, who was stupid, who was lonely. And eventually, she found her first target. Chen Ping, a son of a millionaire who owns a coal mine. They both hit it off, and Wei Wei immediately understood the assignment. She researched his family background, learned about their wealth, and decided that this man could be her ticket into the upper class life. And it worked. Chen spoiled her with designer bags, luxury gifts, attention, the full rich kid boyfriend starter pack. But Wei Wei, she's smart. She knew gifts alone weren't security. I mean, rich men can buy bags for anybody. I mean, Chen was wealthy. He was the type to fly first class, eat at Michelin restaurants every week. Yeah, he was a millionaire, but not a billionaire. Wei Wei, she wanted more. So eventually, she made what would become her signature move, pregnancy. She believed having a child would force marriage. So when Chen was fully obsessed with her, she did some of her secret magic on a condom and got pregnant. I mean, that's a literal crime. Anyway, the child was born. Chen and Wei Wei's first child, a daughter.
Oh my gosh, he looks unhappy. He looks so unhappy in this.
Chen and Wei Wei
looks so unhappy. It's just like, yeah, this happened. I'm stuck now. This happened.
Wei's first child, a daughter. And in her eyes, this was a mission failed. This is because having a daughter doesn't fully secure her position in traditional Chinese families. You need to have a son to continue the family line because usually they take on the inheritance while the daughter just joins the husband's lineage. Think of it as who inherits your last name. But what makes this pretty messed up is that she forcefully got a C-section at 8:08 a.m. on exactly August 8, 2008. Because 8 is a Chinese lucky number, which is pretty extreme. I mean, it's like if I had to have 8 children because 8's my lucky number. So eventually she did her signature move once again, messed with a condom, did her little magic, without consent, of course, and she got pregnant. But this time...
I'm saying, like, how does he know that she messed with the protection? Odds are she did a video explaining step by step what she did and how she got there. I'm pretty sure she's gonna basically spill everything on her own.
With a son. At this point, you probably think that she's done. You know, mission accomplished, future is secured. I mean, you're done. I mean, for a while, her life genuinely did look pretty perfect. She even appeared in a Hunan reality show called Happy Camp as the glamorous hot mom. But behind that glamorous persona that she was showing off, the marriage was already collapsing. Remember, Wei Wei's mindset ever since she was a child was not to just settle in somewhere above average. She wanted to reach the elites. And in 2014, the internet absolutely exploded when Wei Wei was found in photos at a nightclub holding arms with famous actor Jung Kai. And they looked very comfortable with each other. Wei Wei's good friend sent her a private message saying that Wei Wei had gone out drinking with other men to celebrate her birthday last night. Unfortunately, someone in the office secretly messaged Chen Ping, who then caught them in the act. Today, Chen Ping has been calling Wei Wei all day saying he wants a divorce, and Wei Wei is too scared to answer. What a wild birthday. So netizens started accusing her of cheating. They started saying how she fell back into her old habits and started secretly working at nightclubs again. Some people started exposing her old ID photos and even calling her a street vendor prostitute. And then our most beloved, richest kid in China, son of billionaire Nepo baby final boss Wang Situng, makes a post on Wei Wei calling her the highest level escort in the lowest class pond. Damn, I didn't know he could roast like that. And eventually both Chen and Wei Wei admitted to having affairs, so at that point the marriage was cooked. So shortly after, they divorced. But here's where things get important. As part of the divorce settlement, Wei Wei gets $900,000. And this money became her foundation for her next move, because she evolved. Literally, she took all of that money, went to South Korea to get extensive plastic surgery, all with the plan of transforming her face to look identical to the celebrity Yang Mi. Copy and paste surgery once again. I'm surprised she didn't hit up our girl Wang Jing. And this plastic surgery really made her look like Yang Mi. So she returns to China and started posting and gained the nickname Little Yang Mi because at this point, her entire appearance and identity online just revolved around...
Why? Like I said, there was nothing wrong with the previous version of yourself. There was nothing wrong, but apparently it didn't meet the aesthetic that is considered appealing, that you needed to change yourself up even more, go under the knife, look like someone who's famous, and then in order to get in a relationship with someone, I don't get the logic. I really don't. But the whole thing's just it's a sham. It's a scam. It's an absolute scam. They're taking advantage of people, playing and manipulating them in order to get into situations and, well, further their own finances and fill their own pockets. I'm curious what happened to the kids. Like, the poor kids are nothing but tools. Nothing but tools in this situation. I mean, the saying goes, like, it's absolutely 100% true. Not all parents deserve kids, but every kid deserves a parent. Like, it's so tragic that sometimes kids are born to be used as pawns by those people who brought them into life. I'm not even calling them parents. They're used as pawns by the people who brought them into being. They're not parents. They're manipulative tacticians utilizing children. They shouldn't have children. They should never have children. Those people just don't. Yeah, they shouldn't procreate. They shouldn't procreate. They don't have the right to have such a blessing in society. They don't have that right. Because they see it as a tool instead of a blessing, as it deserves to be seen.
A celebrity lookalike. And you guys, this is probably one of the craziest rebranding arcs that we'll ever see. Because think about it. She didn't just want to be wealthy. She wanted to be in the big leagues of China's billionaires. And just you wait, because her transformation manifests real hard later on. Now remember Wang Situng earlier clowning her online? At one point, he actually made a post. I never make friends with people richer than me because none are richer than me. And someone in the comments replied with, "What about me?" And right after that, Wang Zitong deleted the post and just never mentioned it ever again. And this mysterious random guy who would even dare to say such a thing to billionaire Sung Wang Zitong was someone called Qing Fen, but he goes by King. He is someone who's so unknown that nobody really even knows how much money this guy has. Like, it's amounts that you can't even comprehend. Now, Ting Fen, or King, was born into an ultra-rich family in Shanghai. His father is Ting Sixin, who's an insanely powerful casino junket operator in Hong Kong. And unlike some rich kids who just sit around clubbing and buying LV for every girl in their social circle, King was your typical smart, educated rich kid. He attended many prestigious schools in China and even later studied at Harvard. Now, King wasn't just rich, he had this aura to him. Like, he didn't post much, so he was very mysterious and nonchalant. And this guy even launched his own basketball team with over 50 members, and he even hired a former NBA player, Bernard James, to play for him. And if you're anything like me who loves spending their unemployed days diving into gossip from China's influencer circle, I've actually got you guys something that can help you become a fellow netizen today. And of course, that's Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is an app and a browser extension that lets you...
Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. She Cal Center? She makes call center tech scammers look like absolute noobs. She was in it for the long game. Yeah, she absolutely is. Like, the thing is, it's like that kind of mindset is absolutely disgusting. I mean, there are times where I think scamming is wrong to begin with, like absolutely wrong. It's disgusting. You're taking advantage of people in easily manipulative states. You play on emotion, and that's why I really hate when people utilize emotion as an argument. That's why I hate like politics. When they utilize politics. I hate politics when they utilize emotion. I hate it. It's just like, where's the argument here? Where's the discussion? You have to have logical discussions in order to have a topic, in order to actually talk about things. But most of the time, people go to emotion. And the thing is, that's a scam. It's a scam. Emotions are utilized to scam people. They're utilized to take control of people. And that's the thing, she literally did the main emotional baiting course. Oh, I love you. We're going to have a family together, have family, and then you just completely abandon him. You completely abandon him. Yeah, I got it, call center after a second. I was like, oh, okay, that's supposed to be separated.
Extra 4 months of Surfshark VPN. Surf the web safely, and let's get back into it. Then came the moment that made him famous. Enter the LaFerrari incident. One night, King crashed his limited edition LaFerrari worth over $5 million. And instead of panicking like a regular person, there's a famous photo of him just casually sitting out the car playing games on his phone. No stress, like nothing. I mean, most people would be traumatized if they, crashed their bike. But this man looked like it was just business as usual, just another day, a walk in the park. Not only that, but this is a LaFerrari, a limited production model with only like 700 units in the entire world, and only Shanghai has 2. And because of this absurd lifestyle, everybody in China gave him the name the Emperor of Shanghai. And just when King was about to get back with his ex-girlfriend Liu Beibei, he meets someone, and that someone is Wei Wei. What a random coincidence. Come on, this is not a coincidence. Right after getting surgery to make her face look like young me, her eyes locked onto King. And she studied this man like he was an exam. She researched his habits, found out where he hung out, what bars he liked, what type of women he usually dated. She deliberately went to one of the luxury bars that he frequently hung out at every single day, just hoping for a chance to see him there. She had also built this demeanor and charisma to her because not only does her face now look like a celebrity, but she also has years of experience of handling men. Then came the famous accident. One night, Wei Wei was just sitting at the bar, but then she saw King. She knew this was her chance, so she walked up to him, bumps into him, oops, and accidentally spills a cup of wine on him. King was about to crash out until he looked up and saw her face, and it was love at first sight. Because her face resembled the celebrity Yang Mi, he instantly fell in love. I mean, this literally sounds like something—
This is just so freaking bad. So she probably had her eyes on him way before, found out who his favorite type is, the favorite actress is, and literally just jumped on it. It's like, I'm getting that plastic surgery. I'm getting that plastic surgery. Ilhan Omar became state representative after scamming. These people still did nothing compared to that. I mean, true, but at that point in time, people weren't investigating it. Now they are. Now they are. And now people need to get put in jail. Like 40 years to life. 40 years to life. I want to start seeing politicians put in prison. We need to start seeing that. Just because you're a politician doesn't mean you're innocent of crime. You can still do crime. Treasonous crime. But yeah, this is insane. The fact that she literally knew his type, literally knew that he liked that actor. It's like, how do you know all this? That's crazy.
Of a drama. Like, it doesn't even sound real, but like this actually happened. And in this moment, Wei Wei played her cards very carefully. She played that hard to get route. She declined invitations, refused gifts, and just kept her distance. And this is psychologically genius because rich men are just so used to everybody wanting something from them. So when somebody acts uninterested, it activates their curiosity. And slowly but surely, King became obsessed. Wei Wei already studied King's personality. He was a playboy, he dated constantly, he never committed to long-term. So if she wanted long-term security, she needed leverage. And to get leverage, she used her signature move. She messes with the condom again and oops, becomes pregnant. But when King found out that she got pregnant, he did not want marriage at all. Instead, he's like, here's $6 million. Terminate the pregnancy. Just handle it all yourself. I'm sorry. Excuse me? So Wei Wei took the money, the $6 million to terminate the pregnancy, flew to the States, and she just disappeared. So King was now just peacefully living his rich playboy lifestyle. It's time to move on. That's the end of that chapter. Surely.
She had a boy. She most likely had a boy.
And eventually he started dating another internet celebrity, Siga. And actually, this relationship was going really well. And they were even publicly flirting with each other. And he actually seemed like kinda innocent in a way with her. Like, he liked her pose, bought her luxury gifts, you know, like the usual regular boyfriend stuff. He was even using like these corny pickup lines. And a couple months later, he was just about to announce their wedding. And of course, just when things are going well, somebody shows up at his front door. The doorbell rings. He opens the door while his family is with him, and suddenly he sees Wei Wei. But beside Wei Wei is a little boy who calls him Daddy? This can't be real. I used to think the most beautiful thing in life was meeting someone. Later, I realized that the most precious thing was actually the reunion. Haven't seen you for a long time.
Oh my gosh, this is sheer blatant manipulation. He better get that child tested. Get that child tested immediately. Because who knows? Maybe she kept trying until she actually got the boy. Holy crap.
So it turns out Wei Wei never terminated the pregnancy. This whole time she was in the US raising this child up until he was 6 years old. She was waiting quietly, patiently, secretly planning out her next move all those years. And remember, this time, it's a boy. So, it's over. We're in the end game now. No more signature moves, please. Wei Wei gave them two options. Either King marries her, or they pay her $132 million in child support. $132 million? That is generational support. She threatened that she would keep making scenes at their house with the child if they didn't handle the situation. And because ultra wealthy families...
the funny thing is, I do gotta say, I'm respectful at the fact that when she posts with the child, she doesn't post the child. What's funny is that's more respectful than most Western families literally using their kids. Yes, is she using her kid as a prop? Absolutely. She's using her child as a prop to scam, to make a ton of money. But the thing is, only the father is being scammed at that point and being used for that. The child itself is being used against his father. On the other hand, you have those like YouTube families where parents literally use their kids for views and likes and clicks and money. Which I think is worse, because then you're sending your child for the world to see instead of just for the father to give you money. So it's funny how she's both incredibly evil, but at the same time, I see her, even though what she did is incredibly evil, when it comes to like her child, she's not as evil as like those YouTube families. It's so sad. It's so sad. The West is so destroyed.
The child if they didn't handle the situation. And because ultra wealthy families care massively about their image and their social standing, they folded and gave her the $132 million. Finally, netizens had crowned Wei Wei the Queen of Shanghai, the one who completed the biggest social climb in all of Chinese internet history. After everything that happened, the custody of the child remained with Wei Wei, and King even rented her a luxury apartment in Shanghai so that she could independently raise their son. And apparently later on, she even just outright bought the apartment herself. I mean, from an extremely poor mountain village to owning a luxury apartment in Shanghai, that is one heck of a life turnaround. She essentially just changed her entire destiny. And eventually Wei Wei settled into her life with her 3 children, one from King's side and the other 2 from Chen's side. Oh, and her new boyfriend, who is 16 years younger than her, he is 23. Her full-time job now is an influencer doing live stream e-commerce and selling products, as well as just talking about her entire life story like without shame. She even showed photos of herself traveling in Thailand with King's son for a summer break. She openly admits to everything. I mean, the plastic surgery, the affairs, her manipulation tactics as well.
So of course, she's the one that spills the beans on herself because she's already achieved everything she wanted. Why does she care? Why does she care? She's already at the top.
跟男生表白，你们知道吗？你就给他发4个字，你在干嘛？你给任何一个男生发4个字，你在干嘛？在他的脑子里，他都会干成我爱你，我喜欢你。
And what's even more insane is apparently her relationships with King and ex-husband Chen are actually really good. At one point, King and Chen even appeared both in her live streams sending gifts. I mean, what kind of family group chat is this? Yeah, my current live stream viewers include my ex-billionaire boyfriend and my ex-husband sending virtual gifts together while my 22-year-old boyfriend is cheering me on from behind. Okay, and also looking into this even more, it turns out that Wei Wei actually broke up with her 22-year-old boyfriend for like a little bit. And during that break, tell me why her ex-husband Chen and him were celebrating? Like they were hanging out with each other and even doing live streams. In essence, we're like, if I saw my ex-husband and ex-boyfriend hanging out together, I'd feel more disgusted than if I'd eaten shit. After the breakup, my ex-girlfriend's ex-husband spoiled me rotten. Like they literally became besties. If Team Fin weren't so rich, he would definitely join you guys. Now, naturally, public opinion on Wei Wei is still massively divided. Some people genuinely admire her. They see a woman who was born into poverty, used beauty and emotional intelligence, strategy, and social awareness to completely rewrite her destiny. She escaped a life that most people will never escape from. I estimate that there are very few women in this entire country who can reach this level. Some things.
But what do you sell in order to get to that point? That's the thing. It's just like you have to sell a lot. The thing is, it's like it seems like she does care, even though she was taking advantage of people. It seems like she actually does care about her child. The fact that she's not posting her child. She'll post herself. She'll post her loved ones. But it seems like she actually cares about the child. I don't know about all the child because the other two, they post them in pictures. But yeah, the one child. She probably cares about all of them. But the thing, it's like she only has the nurturing for her own offspring and not so much the ones who led to the offspring. She doesn't care about that. But that's the thing, you have to sell something in order to take advantage of people and get to that point. Like there is social climbing, but again, there is a right way to do things. But the problem is when you do things right, it either takes forever or it doesn't happen. And that's the sad part. A lot of people are willing to sell their morals or never have them in the first place in order to ladder climb incredibly quickly. Because the second you start taking advantage of like people, you start manipulating people, you start taking advantage of them, utilizing friendships, things like that, weaponizing friendships, that you can climb fast. But the thing is, once you climb fast, the fall is much quicker. Much quicker. That's why I believe it's just better for people to just be honest, be themselves, be open. There's no point in like taking advantage of other people or seeding off of other people, which is funny for me to say as kind of primarily doing reactionary content. But the thing is, it's just like there's so much more when you can actually have value in your own life. Thing is, what value does she have left? What has she not sold out? Well, I guess the children. That's the only thing she hasn't sold out. Everything, well, she did kinda sell them out, but it's like everything's just ridiculous. It's just insane, absolutely insane.
Are truly innate and cannot be learned. I admire her so much. She should publish a book. And tell me why Wang Zitong also replied with, I'd also like to admire the high-level players. Oh my god, the principal is here. This is going to be serious. And of course, other people absolutely hate her. She relied entirely on wealthy men, manipulated pregnancies, and used children as bargaining chips to secure her future. At the end, she got what she dreamed of and ultimately changed her destiny. I mean, what do you guys think? Was this the only choice for her and her kids, or was this all due to her circumstances of growing up in poverty? I just think this whole situation is pretty messed up, especially her signature move. I mean, one thing's for sure, if you ever get into an encounter that just feels too good to be true, or it just feels something straight out of a K-drama, it probably
is. It probably is. Definitely is. It definitely is. Thank you, Wani. Thank you, Wani. That's always entertaining. That always is entertaining. The fact that Wani can take these just heinous situations and make them enjoyable. Sometimes they're too graphic and I want to spit out what I'm drinking, but that was just insane. The fact that she's sold so much to get do most people wish they could get out of their rut in life? Yeah, I mean, I wish I could. I want to provide more for my wife. But the thing is, I do what I can. I do what I can, and then I try to do more on top of that. Maybe at some point I could go even further. Maybe at some point I can make it even further, but I'm not going to take advantage of people in order to climb the ranks, in order to get further. It's way too easy because I don't want to sell my morals. It's like that mindset where I'm like, you know what? What is it? In the cliche in like films and movies where it's like one last job type of scenario where they're gonna rob one last bank and then I'm gonna go clean and then everything goes bad. But that's the thing, it's just like you have the mindset, it's just like, I just need to do one scammy thing, make money, and then I'll be fine. But you do it once, it's successful, and then you do it again. And then again, it was like those Indian scammers in the U.S. that were arrested by the FBI who pretended to be FBI agents. What'd they do? They played on the emotion. They were making probably as much as I do in a year, working at a gas station, working at a hotel. And it wasn't enough for them. So they probably were like, you know what? Americans are easy. Let's do one scam. One scam worked. Do 2 scams. Do 3 scams. Do 4 scams. They just continue escalating. Why? Because it just became so easy. Why work every single day for the entire year to make what I make, basically, next to nothing, when you can literally steal that from an old lady's retirement fund? Which one's easier? With just a few phone calls. With just a few phone calls.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.